Hello. I'm somebody who has wanted to try to start doing this more often. I've been wanting to do this filming, talking just out loud, my thoughts that are happening on a daily basis. I've been wanting to do that for many years now. Um, I'm always somebody who overthinks everything that I do. So I've been, you know, talking myself out of it constantly. I bought stuff to actually go through with it and then proceeded to then talk myself out of it again and again. I think today is the day I start uh, attempting to do this, at least attempting to get my thoughts out on some type of platform because I feel that my thoughts should be spoken. I'm somebody who, you know, is a normal person who is going about the life around them. I've I am 29 years old. I live in California. I have a loving wife. We've been together for 13 years, married a little under 1 year now. An amazing little dog. He's not really little, but he thinks he's a lap dog. Um, I'm somebody who has driven myself to a certain point to always do the best that I can outside of school or within school, pushing myself to be the best that I can. I went into undergrad, tried to work as hard as I could to get into then graduate school to get a doctorate degree in physical therapy. And, throughout that time, I pushed myself, studied so hard. There was always a next step, a next thing that I was working towards. And when I finally have been, I guess, an adult in this world, it just feels like there's things that are missing. I try my best to live in the moment, but it's always been something that's hard for me to do. I always am constantly thinking of, okay, what's next? What's next? I struggle staying within the moment and, living within those things that we are like those small details in life that a lot of us end up missing. So, I feel like I have stability in my life. I own a home. My mortgage is outrageous, but I own a home, which is amazing. But I just feel like there's always a goalpost I'm trying to move for myself, and that isn't something I continually want to do. I think it's more so that I don't know what I want to do with my life, which is crazy to say for someone who has planned their life out as much as I have. I instinctually try to make things a certain way if I can put my hand on it a little bit. And I'm at a point now where I constantly have thoughts going through my head. I constantly am thinking of different things, whether it's, the current state of the world, current state of politics, sports, um, things I want to cook, things I'm interested in cooking or baking. A lot of these things that we're molding ourselves around, you know, how expensive and things are for my generation, where we grew up, things were seemingly relatively easier when we were kids. It seemed like things were always within reach. And now that I'm finally an adult, it just seems like things have been dramatically pulled backwards. Though most of us, I would argue, work pretty hard within our age group, around that 29-year-old age group, almost 30, Jesus. So I think I'm scrolling on my computer because I wanted to make talking points because it's so hard for me not to go about having some type of script. This isn't even a script, it's just talking points so I don't lose track because my mind will just go on tangents and I will stay there on the weirdest shit sometimes. And I wanted to stay as focused as possible for this. Um, I am not someone who has like large ambitions outside of school, and that's something to where I want to venture out into more of. I feel strongly about many topics within this life, and I find myself censoring or staying quiet or just not wanting to voice my opinion in different ways, mainly because I'm afraid to. I don't want to cause tension with people. I don't want to think people uh, or have people think that I think I'm better than them. That's not what I want out of this. I more so just want to voice, how I'm going about my life, how I see things are, and where I think things can be improved. I get home from work roughly 4:30 to 5 o'clock, which is why I wanted to name this channel so far to start with the 5 p.m. project. Because if I'm making any of these, it's going to be when I'm off the clock right after work. I'm not doing it before work. I'm probably not going to do a lot of these on the weekends because I want to enjoy my outside life as much as possible. I I'm somebody who doesn't watch a lot of like media. I'm on social media, but I don't try to partake in like mainstream things as often because it's not cohesive to what I am about. I feel like a lot of the media out there nowadays is so destructive, whether it's politics or just people enjoying their lives and playing like video games online, that stuff. There are people who are going to be destructive from that. So I want to try this out. There's many ways this can go. I could probably just post this one video and call it a day, depending on how I feel, and see if I talk myself out of it again for another year or two. But again, this is something that I feel that I have been wanting to do for a while. I don't want to keep censoring myself to myself, even if no one watches these videos. I think that's fine. I think this is a good outlet just to kind of let myself freely think and talk about different topics. So that is what we will most likely be doing a lot of. If I'm thinking about a topic, I will try to give my insight and opinion and struggles from those, whether it's trying to figure housing out, trying to figure out school loans, which I have plenty of, the healthcare system in general. I can talk about that for years. I think all these things are very important to me. And if someone's watching this, hopefully it's important to you too. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out together. Again, whether that together is me and you or just me and me. Uh, that's what we'll find out. So, um, with that said, I hope that this can be a long-lasting online relationship with myself and whoever wants to watch this. We may not always agree, and you might not even like how I sound. You might think my voice is nasally, and that is okay. I'm not making these videos for anyone. I'm just trying to not hold back on my own thoughts, not push my thoughts down, not say that they don't matter. I think everyone's thoughts matter, and that's what and why it is important for us to voice those thoughts. So, with that said, uh, we'll conclude with this episode of the 5 p.m. Project. Thank you